Hi, this is a video about creating engaging and instructional videos, and this is part one, where I'm going to talk about the learning that takes place when you really utilize the instructional video strengths, what goes into a good instructional video. So I'm going to ask you to pause here and think about an engaging and effective instructional video you saw recently, and what did it have that made it engaging for you? Was it the music? Was it the narrator? Was it the way ideas were presented? Was it funny? So many different things that you could consider. And then maybe you want to think about an example that wasn't so good, right? So keep those in mind as I'm talking. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 elements of video design and implementation as described by Cynthia Brain from Vanderbilt University. So I use a lot of these concepts. I'll put the link in the video, and you are more than welcome to go to this after watching this video to learn more, because I can't get everything into this short video, but we talk a bit about the cognitive load while you're watching a video, the engagement and affective domain, how it's affecting the learner, and then what kind of active learning is taking place. So talking about cognitive load, we're going to start with that and thinking about how you get things in from your senses to your working memory to the long-term memory. So if you're thinking about a video, you're thinking of the audio that you're hearing, the verbal, the instructions, the music, whatever it may be. And then you have the visual. What are you seeing? What kinds of pictures? Are you seeing drawing taking place? Are you seeing live action video? So your senses are taking in the information. And then taking that into account, how are you going to attend or look at certain pieces of information, select it to get it into your working memory? Is it an easy process, or is it kind of hard to figure out what you're supposed to be looking at? Getting it into the working memory is where you start to grapple with it. And this isn't maybe the best description, but I'm thinking about when you have to memorize a phone number. There's only so many things you can remember at one time. Just like the senses take in, they can be overloaded, and then only so much information can be taken from that moment. This is limited. The goal is to get the information into long-term memory, but how do you do that when it's so fleeting? Well, you use an encoding process, and frequent retrieval is key. If you don't know the term retrieval practice, Google it. It's worth reading about. It's basically remembering information, and you are reaching back and trying to recall it, and you are encoding it at that moment. And then your long-term memory is unlimited. So you're taking the information through these memories, and it's all about the cognitive load. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how that is affected in these videos. First, the length of the video. If the video is long, it's too much to encode. You want to have bite-sized videos, single topics. Yes, you can have subtopics in there, but you want to make it sort of bite-sized so they can learn about a certain topic. Keep it short, 5 to 8 minutes. Do you like to sit and watch a 45-minute video when it's compulsory? No, you don't. But maybe a 5-minute video. So it's not only cognitive load, but it's motivation. Okay. Now, thinking that through. So if it's a short video, you want to structure the content for the learner so that they understand, what am I supposed to take away at this moment? Okay, teachers are good at this, in compartmentalizing and chunking information. So that should be pretty easy to do. But my challenge is always having a script and making sure I stay on script. Because if you make a video, making a lot of mistakes, you're tending to start over again. And if you need to have a storyboard where you have, this is what's on the screen and this is what I'm going to say, do it. You'll get better as you go. But script it if you have to, and then you'll be able to, do less and less as you go. Simple learning area. This is huge for cognitive load. This is not meant for you to be able to read. It's just for you to kind of eyeball. Question: do you think that a learner can memorize all 10 of these bullets after seeing it on the screen? Do you feel that that's an effective way of presenting? No. I would definitely limit how much information you're putting on a slide at a time. Think about the working memory. Okay, here's another example. Now, I could see using a paragraph of text if you're teaching literature or poetry, but I would keep it to a minimum, and I would probably only have that paragraph and none of this other junk on here, especially this dumb picture. The picture adds nothing to it, and it actually obscures content. Don't put anything on your screen that's going to cover your content. Just doesn't work. This slide I like a lot. It's got one idea, it's written out, and it's got a picture that complements the picture, the concept. This one's okay too, but this, I think the goal for me is to remember the word or the number 72 here. Okay, I like how it has some of the elements I would be saying along with the picture, because the idea is I'm hearing it too, to drive it home. Okay, so cognitive load done. Engagement or affective domain. So what do we mean by that? We mean, how does it make you feel? Do you feel like your teacher's with you? You can achieve high instructor presence with a video, giving a little bit of yourself there and putting it out there for the student to say, here's my teacher. I can hear them speak. Heck, I can even see them point out important information for me. They think that's important, so I better pay attention to that. And this was like a little spotlight. You could use the cursor or you could draw on your slide, okay? And then there's sort of a debate whether having a little like video of you in the corner is beneficial or not. Some people say yes, some people say no. Really, when we're thinking about cognitive load versus the affective domain, the video is nice because it shows you and they can see you're on the other end of the keyboard if this is an online environment. But the cognitive load aspect says, well, is it distracting the student from the actual content? You could do a little bit of both, where you're on some slides and maybe not on others, so that they draw their attention to the appropriate thing as they are supposed to. And then look directly into the camera. If you're looking to the side, that's very distracting. Keep your voice in an informal tone so that it sounds like you're talking to them. They're going to come away feeling much more refreshed and relaxed and more interested in what you had to say. Make sure your audio is clear and audible so that, number one, they don't have to strain to hear you, because that's one of the channels, sensory channels. And two, you might have dogs in the background barking, cars on the highway. Make sure you're in a quiet place so the learner can listen to you. And the third element is active learning. How are you keeping the learner active? And how do you do that? Frequent retrieval. Remember the encoding, where you are asking them to remember things. So you could pause in the video, like build it right in, like you are asking them a question, and then say, I'm going to ask you to do this now. You can pause the video now. Or you could take the finished video, put it into a tool like Play Pause It, and this tool will allow you to put questions that will stop the video and ask the learner to answer a question. And this could be check for understanding as well as a check for zoning. I zone when I watch videos, and sometimes having that question is a way for me to say, oh, you know what? I just missed that last minute or whatever. I'm going to rewind and I'm going to listen to it again. You'll be surprised at how much more students know in the video if it is done in that method, where there's frequent retrieval. And then get feedback. That's the last point I want to make, is involve your students and let them feel like, and involve them in being a part of your video creation. If they have suggestions for your videos, hear them out and incorporate them. Let them be active in the process, and maybe have them create their own instructional videos. Okay, next part, we'll talk about the actual nuts and bolts.